Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone. Before we jump right in with the deck you see on the screen, I'm going to let you know that all 4 decks today cleared Deadpool's Diner. All 4 decks are proven in Deadpool's Diner and achieved Cassandra Nova. In addition, we're going to review 3 different bundles and do a last chance review for the brand new card this week, Copycat. There's no point in doing a last chance review right now, obviously, for Cassandra Nova, since she's in Deadpool's Diner. So we've got a huge episode. Let's begin with Snap Deck's Mill Adjacent. This deck looks a lot like our classic Mill decks, but it's not going all the way in on those lists. It is using Cable, Gladiator, and Copycat. It's not and Magic. It's not trying to get absolutely everything out of the opponent's hand. It's just trying to really make their spacing difficult and their ability to play cards really challenging. Spider-Ham fundamentally removes a card from their hand, especially if the opponent doesn't have Mobius. Copycat removes an ability, and Dr. Octopus pulls a bunch of stuff onto the board. In combination, all of this stuff is extremely strong and can win lots of games of Marvel Snap. Snap Decks, for those of you unaware, is the Twitter account that you can check out. You should check out. It's a friend of ours who posts basically any deck that succeeds in Marvel Snap that is tagged, that they're tagged on Twitter. So for this, if you're interested in checking out Snap Decks, check out twitter.com/snapdecks. Gladiator or Copycat can be Zemo here. You'll note that Zemo is not in the list. Zemo is not very good here, but if you're missing Gladiator or Copycat, it's a perfectly fine replacement. You don't super want to use Zemo with this list. Copycat can also be Red Guardian or Nocturne. That is perfectly freaking fine. Like, you have no problem just replacing it with another good 3-drop. You're going to lose a little bit of equity there, and when they draw that last card, it's not going to be dead, but still you'll be fine. Once you unlock Cassandra Nova, should you decide to use this deck to do so or another, if you want to try this list out, Cassandra Nova is in it, and someone's looking at me going, hey, if you're milling, Cassandra Nova is really bad. Well, okay, let's go back for 1 second. If you decide to Cassandra Nova on turn 3, you've lost nothing, right? Unless you happen to Cable, then you've got a 3-6. 3-6 is still better stats than Nocturne. However, you're mostly adding Cassandra Nova in case you run up against arishem decks. It is just largely a tech card for the arishem matchup. Outside of that, it's not a card you super need for this list. Red Hulk can be Magneto for this list. You lose a bit. Again, Red Hulk gets bigger, but not too much. Magneto gives you a little bit of extra clock. Spider-Ham can be Iceman. That's actually a reasonably big loss here, as long as Mobius isn't in the meta. White Widow can be Jeff or Medusa. There's some argument that if your part of the meta is still seeing Dr. Octopus everywhere, you might prefer Jeff to White Widow, but White Widow is really good, because if they don't have a lot of cards, they might not be able to clear out that -4, and then White Widow is suddenly a 2-6. And you are going to need both Pixie and Mobius for this list. Sorry, the Pixie Mobius thing is how you really steal cubes. It's how you get your big Cubans, and those of you who've been playing Deadpool's Diner should recognize that that's an extremely powerful thing. Also, Mobius just sort of wrecks a lot of what the meta is doing. If you are seeing a ton of move decks, this is obviously not as good. If your meta has become the mini move decks that we featured yesterday, please don't try this list. However, this is really, really good against basically everything else in the metagame. Turn 1, you'd like to play Spider-Ham. Turn 2, you want to play Pixie over Cable over Widow. Turn 3, if you played Pixie, you want to play Mobius. If not, you want to play Magic or Gladiator. Obviously, if you have Cassandra Nova in the deck, you'd like to play Cassandra Nova. Turn 4 is the same thing as the previous turn. Then turn 5 is, generally speaking, Dr. Octopus. Remember that if you've gone Pixie and Mobius, you'd really like to Magic, because you get so much extra out of that those extra turns. Turn 5, Dr. Octopus or Magic, and then you just bump everything down a turn. Turn 6, Red Hulk and Shang in turn 6 and 7, in whatever order it makes sense. Very few opponents can handle this. Be wary of Juggernaut, who's all over the meta, but there are very few other cards that really give you a ton of trouble with this list. This is an extremely powerful thing to be doing, and you should check it out. All right, our goal is to hit 15,000 subs by the end of the year, and we'd really appreciate if you help us get there. We give you at least 3 brand new decks every single weekday, 7 decks a week. 7 days a week. If you enjoy this content, please do us a favor and hit that sub button. And if you're already subbed, like and comment. We're fighting that YouTube algorithm. It's always an uphill battle. They just want to show the biggest and most already established channels. If you're willing to help us get there, please hit that sub, like, comment. Thank you so much. In addition, we are giving away season passes. We are actually tomorrow announcing the brand new season pass giveaway. So we are announcing the new season pass giveaway tomorrow. Today will be the only day to win the old season pass. Got it? If you are still looking for Gwenpool, and you should be, Gwenpool is freaking phenomenal, today is the only day to comment if you're interested in winning that season pass card. We're also going to announce later on this video the Gwenpool winner for last week's version of the giveaway. Starting tomorrow, we're getting in on the giveaway for the new season pass card, Kate Bishop Hawkeye. So get yourselves ready for that. All right, Pet Store featuring Safety Blade is the next deck. This deck, obviously built exactly as is, did not get Cassandra Nova, but the deck without Cassandra Nova got all the way to Cassandra Nova, and then Cassandra Nova was added, and it got all the way to the variant for Cassandra Nova. So this list is from Safety Blade and our friend Buddy Lean over on Twitter, who we featured a lot lately because he's just crushing it with the deck builds. But this has been the main build played. This is just an all-in bounce deck. It says, I do stats better than you, deal with it. You can find Buddy at twitter.com/BuddyLean, 2 Ds, 2 Is, and you can find Safety Blade at twitch.tv/SafetyBlade. Now, quick question. How good are you with bounce? I feature a lot of bounce decks here on the channel because, as you may know, bounce is my personal favorite archetype. It's the thing I'm most successful with. I absolutely love bounce. Now, if you are really bad at bounce, if you're struggling with bounce, please do let me know. I'm very curious. Shoot a comment, and that's how you enter to win the very last Gwenpool we're giving away. We'll announce that toward the end of the week. Just make sure you're checking the videos and you're entering to win the Kate Bishop. But the question is, do you like bounce? How good are you at bounce? I'm always inclined to feature bounce decks here on the channel because I personally love it. Nico and America Chavez can be Electra for this list. You can also try Hood in my personal version of this list. I played this list a fair amount. I just run Hood. Before Cassandra Nova was in the deck, it was Sage. You can also try Gladiator, Rockslide, Black Widow. You'll be totally fine. The other high series cards are needed. Do not play this deck without Werewolf. Do not play this deck without Darkhawk. Although, I'm curious, do not play this deck without Werewolf, Black Swan, or Gwenpool. I'm curious, if your part of the meta doesn't have a ton of arishem, if there's another 4 or 5 that gets big enough that we can just replace Darkhawk, perhaps with a card like Cull Obsidian. I'm not sold on that, but I think that there's a reasonable chance that Darkhawk could be cut as the meta continues to evolve. Cool. All right, so Werewolf bounce is all the freaking way back. Werewolf is so good right now. 2 weeks ago on the podcast, we had Husky Puppies and Butt on the podcast, and they were both like, Werewolf isn't good, Werewolf isn't good. And I was like, Werewolf is good. People just haven't played it yet. Well, a couple of weeks later, and Werewolf is all over the place. The card is legit. It's one of the best cards in Marvel Snap. I spent a bunch of time doing a deep dive on stats for individual cards in Marvel Snap, based on having to figure out whether I should recommend Copycat, because it is a challenging recommend or not. And spoiler, Werewolf is really, really top-notch right now. One of the best cards in the game. All right, for this list, turn 1, you want Korg over Iceman over America Chavez. Turn 2, you want to play some more ones. Turn 3, you would really like to Werewolf. You're perfectly fine playing Cassandra Nova if you have her. So you can also play that with a 1 after Werewolf, and you can move Werewolf twice that way, or you can play some 1s and bounce. Turn 5 is meant to be Swan and bounce, and then turn 6 is all the free 1s and Darkhawk. And then you win, because there's a crazy amount of stats. Also, don't be afraid to bounce Cassandra Nova, especially if you're bouncing Cassandra Nova with Korg. You keep putting rocks in that deck, and as you keep putting rocks in that deck, Cassandra Nova gets bigger. And it's kind of hilarious, and actually really fairly impactful, especially as they're playing cards at -2 power toward the end game. So don't hesitate to do that if necessary. Like, if you don't see a Werewolf and you go, like, you have a Korg Cassandra Nova, your turn 4 could include beasting those 2 cards, and then you can play those 2 with Black Swan on the next turn. And then you just gain a whole bunch of extra power. It's really, really valid. All right, next up, we have our last chance review of Copycat. All right, Copycat is a 3/5, Series 5, 6,000 tokens. When you draw this, deal the text from the bottom card of your opponent's deck. This is in an absolute ton of decks right now. It is a very powerful card. It is not the best in slot 3-drop. Nocturne is. I do not believe, the stats do not bear out, nothing is suggesting that this card is better right now in slot in a general deck than Nocturne. However, I think there is a strong argument that this is the second best. So if you have the resources for Copycat, also Cassandra Nova, right? So if you have the resources for Copycat and do not have Nocturne, I think that this is an easy buy. If you have Nocturne and Cassandra Nova, unless you want to play very specific decks like Surfer or the semi-mill stuff, I think that Copycat is very good, but can be skipped. This is a buy if you have enough resources. If you're like swimming in resources and just get the good cards, this is the good cards. But Second Dinner is in the process of only releasing good cards right now. Even Hydra Bob, a 1/5, is a very good card right now. They very rarely release a card that is actually bad. Copycat is an excellent, very good card. But if you are limited in resources and only buying best in slot, then that is Nocturne. Nocturne is not data mined in spotlights. If you don't have Nocturne, please feel free to just grab Copycat. Hopefully that's clear for everybody. This is a very good card. All right, next up, what's this still doing here? That is from yesterday. We talked about Komi's Loki Mill. If you would like to see gameplay for Komi's Loki Mill and basically every other deck in this video, please do check out the stream team. Today will be Gregor2424 at 12 p.m. Eastern, streaming a bunch of games with these decks. Tomorrow morning on the Gregor2424 YouTube, which you should subscribe to, the Gregor2424 YouTube will have a video of those games. The King of Canada will have a YouTube video coming out this morning about yesterday's decks. All right, Flameforge Fury is a $34.99 bundle. With it comes Wolverine, 4,000 credits, 1,200 gold, 155 Wolverine boosters, whatever, and a Wolverine avatar. Boosters have lost a lot of value with the new way the booster shop works. 180.5% value is the exact borderline. 180% is what I'm looking at for my cash bundles. If you want this Wolverine variant, then this is a good buy. They release bundles in this general range all the time, so don't feel like you're obligated to buy this. But if you want the resources and like this variant, this is a very good buy. I have not bought this yet. I fully plan to. It's a good one. We have the Glows to the Chest bundle, 7,500 gold. That is a massive amount of gold. It comes with a Destroyer variant, which is a very cool Destroyer variant that has Throg on his head, and Loki inside him. It comes with 6,000 tokens, 2,000 credits, and then boosters and an avatar, as you do. Now, this is about as good a cash bundle as we've seen. There is no cash, This is about as good a gold bundle as we've seen. We have not seen a gold bundle this good in quite a while, and there is no currently data mined gold bundle that is as good as this. If you have the gold and are in the market for a gold bundle, this is fundamentally a better Token Tuesday that can immediately get you a Series 5 card. Go and get this bundle if you are in the market for a big gold bundle and have the access to it. This is an easy must-buy for those who are looking for new cards. Next up, we have the Dog Days bundle. This is a $25 bundle, $24.99, 172.6 bundle value with 3,000 gold. If you just need the gold, well, you can use that gold to turn around and buy the Glows in the Chest bundle if you have 4,500. This is very good, but not incredible value. However, if you saw the Deadpool movie, this dog is completely adorable. My wife fell completely in love with the dog, so I personally bought this one immediately. But this is slightly below average value overall, so don't drive yourselves crazy to get it. It is a good bundle, but in no way, shape, or form is this anything like a required bundle. This is slightly below the threshold where I usually recommend bundles, but it's close enough so that it's not a bad buy. Dog Days is a good bundle, and that will be the Deadpool variant I use from now on, at least personally. Next up, we have the Sizer Mini Mover. Someone got the gwenpool, the Elsa variant with this. Elsa, Jesus. Someone got the Cassandra variant with this, and that someone is me. This deck is my personal favorite version of the Mini Move deck. It is what Sizer has deemed the most consistent. I personally am just a really, really big Elsa fan. What you lose by running Elsa over Hope, you'll see Hope in most versions of this deck. What you lose is the ability to spend your last turn with 1 extra energy going Juggernaut and Shang or Juggernaut and Captain Marvel. That is a major loss. But I found that I can often get like an extra 7-9 power out of Elsa, and that's more than enough to make up for that. Elsa being extra huge makes up for a lot here. When your Hydra Bob is a 1/7, when your Nightcrawler is a 1/4, etc., you're enough ahead, at least in my experience, that you're able to even do without Gwenpool. It sort of works in a lot of ways as a backup Gwenpool for this list. You can find Sizer playing all day, every day, sitting in the top 10 of the Infinite Leaderboard at twitch.tv/Sizer2654. Tell him I sent you. Hydra Bob can be Miles in this list. You're moving enough that Miles fits perfectly fine. Hydra Bob is just almost the same stats with a lot less work, so I prefer it. Elsa can be Hope. Nocturne can be Copycat. And Jeff can be Silk. I know that this list is expensive. Sorry. This is currently the deck. Like, a version of this. You can check Barzy's version, which is #1 on the Infinite Leaderboard. Yesterday, this is currently the deck. The best deck in Marvel Snap. Or the best archetype, anyway. I cruise to Cassandra Nova's variant with this list. I'm slightly cheating, because I didn't use this to specifically get Cassandra Nova. I used the Ajax bounce list that Gnome built and we featured last Wednesday. It's the one that I was told Ajax is a bad card about, and I shouldn't try and sell people bad cards, even though Ajax is awesome. The second arishem was gone, like I said he would be. So I used that to actually get Cassandra Nova. I used this basically the entire way from 50 million to 500 million, and just cruised. Like, absolutely dominated with this list. This is, I think, just insane. So turn 1 is Kitty or Pass. Unless you have a clear curb, then Nightcrawler and Bob are fine. So fundamentally, I'd like to save those, to use them with Thena, to use those on Angela, to use those as an extra card for Elsa, so on and so forth. But I am happy to drop them if I'm pretty sure my curve is clear straight through turn 4. Like if I have Angela, Elsa, and Gwenpool, right? I'm reasonably likely to just drop one of them early and start to get myself set up. Turn 2, Angela over Thena. Turn 3, Thena and a 1 is better than Elsa, is better than Nocturne. Although Thena and a 1 is less good if I'm planning on dropping Gwenpool next. Turn 4, Elsa and a 1 is better than Gwenpool, is better than Captain Marvel. Turn 5, Gwenpool +1. So the reason, Captain Marvel is very important, right? So the reason that you're going to go Elsa Gwenpool over Thena +1, Elsa +1, Captain Marvel, is because you want to make sure you can go Elsa, Gwenpool, Captain Marvel, and then still be able to Juggernaut or Shang at the end of the game. Cool. So turn 5 is Gwenpool +1 or Cap +1. Turn 6, Juggernaut plus or Shang plus or Captain Marvel. And try in mirrors to make sure you're playing Captain Marvel as late as possible, particularly when your opponent's relying on a Juggernaut to just win a lane, because Captain Marvel is absolutely backbreaking. Also, please remember Juggernaut's in a crap ton of decks. It is all over the place. All right, this list is incredibly strong. It is just like almost all scalers and movers, and it's extremely hard for your opponent to know how much power you're going to be putting down. Between Elsa and Gwenpool, they don't know how much power your cards are. Kitty, Thena, and Angela all scale. Jeff, Hydra Bob, Nightcrawler, Nocturne, Captain Marvel all move. It's extremely hard unless your opponent can just go so big in 2 lanes that you can't be beat to win with this list. And when they do that in 2 lanes, you've got Juggernaut, Shang-Chi, and Captain Marvel to take care of it. This list is wildly good, like crazy effective. Mentally prepare yourself, though, if you're playing it, because we are about to enter a world of Shadow King. Hey, our giveaway winner is Brownies1324. Please get in contact with me through either my Gmail, the Twitter, or the Discord. The link to each of those is on the screen. The new season giveaway will kick off tomorrow. So make sure if you're in the market to win that Hawkeye, you are here on this channel tomorrow, Tuesday morning. We're also tomorrow morning going to take a look at the 3 cards in Spotlights. They are Proxima Midnight, Hope Summers, and Nico Minoru. All right, our last deck of the day, I think, is Bad at Snap. Bad at Snap is one of my regular opponents on my way to Infinite and on the Infinite leaderboard. We play all the frickin' time. Bad at Snap has the only Hitmonkey deck I've seen in quite a while that's not running like Sarah nonsense. That still works. Almost everyone has just gone to Werewolf. Well, if Dr. Octopus is slowly leaving the meta and Leech is gone, right, because arishem is slowly going away, this list works. This list was without Cassandra Nova, used to get Cassandra Nova, and then once Cassandra Nova was unlocked, used all the way into the variants. Cool. This list is very good. I had a really, really good time playing this. There are a lot of plays and a lot of ways you can work around things to work with this list. All right, so you can find Bad at Snap at twitter.com/oldsnapwhale. Cassandra was Darkhawk before Darkhawk was unlocked, which is a little bit awkward curve-wise. It's there for the arishem matchup. Cassandra Nova in this version is there largely for the arishem matchup too. It's a tech card. Nico can be Iceman or Korg for this list without too much trouble, especially if you have Darkhawk, probably should be. Black Swan, Sasquatch, and Monkey are needed. You can try Sage for Monkey, maybe if you have Sage and not Hitmonkey. All right. 0 gold straight to the variant for this list. Like, this is from 0 to max with no extra BS all along the way. Kitty is better than the other ones, and if you have Swan and not a way to bounce, you want to save those if possible. Turn 2 is Angela, is better than 2 1s. Turn 3, Bishop, is better than Cassie, or you can bounce here. Turn 4 is Bouncer Swan. If you can Swan turn 4, you play all the 1s and Hitmonkey. And if you have the extra bounce, you can play all the 1s Hitmonkey and then bounce the 1s, which is awesome because then you can play all the 1s and Sasquatch to end the game. Cool. This list is very strong. Rocket Raccoon, Demons, big old Bishops, Hitmonkey, multiple Cassandra Novas. Don't forget the bounce thing still works there. It's a ton of fun. This list is incredible. You can cut Nico here, but Nico's copy spell is absolutely insane. Free Demons, extra Hitmonkey, extra Sasquatch, extra Cassandra Nova, all great. Nico's +2 is perfectly fine here, still really good on the cards. Nico's Destroy is fine for Hood, Falcon, or Beast. The move to the right is obviously not incredible. The +2 on top of everything else is just really good. Nico's just a stellar card in this list. You can cut her if you need to, but she is great, and she's in Spotlights tomorrow. So this is Bounce Nova. It is a great list. I am very impressed that Bad at Snap decided to go Hitmonkey freaking Bounce. Back to Hitmonkey Bounce in order to get that new card. Questions of the day, then we'll head out of here. Thank you so much for watching. Our first question is from Hyro Costa. He wants to know why they're trying to force borders on us. So they're trying to make borders the new premium currency, and they're giving us enough for like almost a whole deck so that we'll have to buy the rest. It is a way to say like, hey, we want you to spend money on cosmetics so we don't have to make cards more expensive. And if you get enough for half of a deck, well, then you have to buy the rest. And if you get enough for a whole deck and then a new card comes out that replaces one, well, guess what? Then you have to buy that extra one. That's what they're trying to do with these borders. Personally, I keep all borders gold because gold is the best color, and I'm not really worried about it. But for people who are trying to bling up their collection, make everything unique, this is going to make Second Dinner a lot of money. A Mandatory Burnout says, once you get Cassandra Nova, what do you do in Diner? So do you want the variant? If you want the variant, go get the variant. Once you have both, I strongly urge you to donate some bubs if you have the time. So Kirallas, Kirallas, has a great guide to this over on Twitter, but this video got a little long, so we didn't really have time to get to it. I'll post that within the next couple days in one of these videos. But basically, figure out how, snap, donate cubes, please. Give your cubes away once, not cubes, bubs, whatever, they're cubes. Give your bubs away once you're there. PSA, do it. Once you have it, help other people get the card, get the variant. I keep trying to give mine away, and I keep running into bots. It's very annoying. But I've managed to give, I don't know, 20, 30 million away so far, so pretty good. Kirtix, I spelled that wrong. Kirtix Lee, the king of questions, is it better for season pass cards to be balanced around late game players, Elves and Loki, or early game cards, Gilgamesh, Ghost Spider? So I don't like the examples here because Loki is amazing for early game players. like absolutely incredible for early game players. It fundamentally immediately creates a top-notch deck. I think Elsa works for both, and I think Ghost Spider doesn't actually really work for early game players. I think Ghost Spider really works with cards like Phoenix Force or really late game move cards. So I don't love the I don't know, dichotomy here. So I generally, though, do think that you want stuff for early game players, not late game players. I mean, like, hopefully both, right? But I think you want stuff like Gwenpool, Gilgamesh, and Loki that works for early game players and late game players. That's where the sweet spot is. Fundamentally, you want to try and inspire early game players to spend by giving them good value, things that they can use in their decks now. And you want things to be late game viable because then it doesn't feel like the money was wasted. And then a bunch of late game players buy it too. Although odds are, if you made it to the late game, you probably buy the season pass. And if you buy the season pass in the late game, then they don't have to build it specifically for us. Make sense? Fire Troll asked my favorite snack and if it's changed over time. My favorite snack as a young child was Funny Bones, the like Little Debbie cakes. They're basically chocolate cakes with peanut butter inside. I absolutely love them. As a kid, they were my favorite. My favorite like snack as an adult, my favorite unhealthy snack as an adult, is everything but the bagel chips from Trader Joe's. They're basically chips with everything bagel seasoning all over them, and they're phenomenal. Honestly, though, I try really, really hard, and generally speaking, don't snack because over the summer as a teacher, most of my life is wake up, set up video stuff, go to go to lunch with a former student or friend. Sometimes former students are friends, but you get the idea. Go to lunch with a former student slash friend, go pick up my son and hang out with him. Then when he goes to bed, hang out with wife and record video, right? So because I'm going out to lunch all the freaking time and fairly sedentary, I gain like 10 pounds every summer. So I am trying very hard not to snack right now as I'm going out to lunch like constantly. Let us check out our Patreon. If you're interested on our Patreon, check out patreon.com/snapjudgments. Quick reminder, the $1 tier not only gets you into all of our tournaments, but also gets you the exclusive Google sheet that has basically, I mean, it doesn't have forever. It's got like the last 2 weeks where it'll have forever from now on. It has every single deck we feature here on this channel linked with its video and what archetype it is that you can sort yourself and do what you want with. So please do check it out if you're interested. That's just the $1 tier. Any extra help and support is always really appreciated. I'd like to say thank you to Abigail Gleason, Mandatory Burnout, Cables, Matt H., Irregardless, David G. Wingfield, Direwolf, LAB, FaThorNewman. Please, please, please go check out Newman on Twitch, making a partner push. Good Dog Gamer, This Is The Way, Inc., I Am Frostman, Jay Neverett, Corwin, Prime Brian, Caretixley, King of Questions, Caretixley, Koire, Pyrofros, The Goat Seeker, Danman Falcon, who you should check out on YouTube, Quid Pro Joe, King of New Marvel Snap card content, Doc T, Matt Nick, Ginger Prime, Philip Ratkovich, who I'd like to give all the thanks to the wonderful shorts on the channel, Haplo, Kenny Logs of the Danger Zone, Rob Silverman, The Beza, Xorus V, and Skippy G. Winner of Snap Judgments League Season 1, Tommy Nyquist, the King of Bros Bro, Black Dahlia, The Great Kazoo, Jessica Gamble, Ryan Woodwoody, Kevsey Hoda, Luna Chris, Archangel 3K, John Q, Louis Antonez, Mod Supreme Models, who made that aforementioned Google sheet, Darth Tater, Remus Atala, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B., the one and only JD McDonaldinho, check him out on Twitch, The Fuzzy Dunlop, Spectrumix, Matt H., yes, there are 2 Matt H's, DJ Mikey Hijinks, No Frickin' Flex, Ocularis, who reached out, and we've had some lovely conversations. Please continue to reach out, Oc. Mr. Craig Sterry, Seamus, hope you're doing good, my friend. Reach out again, curious how you're holding up. Jonesy, 2 Ties, who had an awesome time at GalaxyCon. The great Lauren Whatevs, the Pirate King Tuccrr, who you should check out on Twitch and YouTube. The homie Min, who finally reached out again. I missed you so much, Min. And of course, Gunny T, who killed it doing a presentation about Marvel Snap at GalaxyCon, excuse me. Huge props to the great Gunny T. All right, that's it for today. If you made it this far, hit that sub button. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I did my best. Please also check out the Patreon, patreon.com/snapjudgments, if you have any disposable income. If you're doing $1, considering we release 30 videos a month, you get a pretty good deal, especially if you count the shorts. Now, if you'd like to see the current #1 deck and you missed yesterday's video, it'll be linked right below me, the bottom right of this screen, so please check that out too. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Peace.